from your tweet. Here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m. Quote, "The majority of Americans hate women. The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy." Close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this.
Did you say it?
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said
relevance
it.
of that
Here
to
it
this
is, big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
They say sunlight is the best disinfectant. But today we're pulling back the curtain on something a whole lot darker. What you're about to hear will leave you shaking your head. So grab a seat, get comfortable, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for having to miss the testimony of some of you, and I appreciate you coming today. Professor Franks, let me ask you, I listened to your and Ms. Hemingway's testimony and Professor Turley, so I got part of it. As I understand it, your position, Professor Franks, is that I think you used the word myth. It is a myth that the Biden administration used government to compel speech, private speech, but that the Trump administration is doing that. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think perhaps you're allowing your personal political beliefs to affect your objectivity here?
No, I do not. What is guiding my answers here is that I'm looking to see what the Supreme Court has said. You notice that in the testimony about the censorship industrial complex.
I got that part.
No, I just
got
want
that
to
part.
clarify.
No, but I've only got 5 minutes. Your answer is no, as I appreciate it. Let me ask you a couple questions. You wrote a law review article in December of 2023 for the New York University Law Review, and it was about the two cases, Bruen, Supreme Court case, and Dobbs. Remember that article?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In this article, you said, I'm going to quote your words, "Taken together, these two cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy," end quote. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say, quote, "When the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right to armed self-defense in public, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also say in that article, I'm going to quote again, quote, "by simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court," referring to the current United States Supreme Court, "has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact as well," close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
Okay. In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
I'm not sure what the current terminology is for it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You're trying to be provocative on there, don't you?
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this
let me
is.
show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m. Quote, "The majority of Americans hate women. The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this
Did you
hearing.
say it?
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said it.
relevance of
Here
that
it
to
is,
this
big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
But your political beliefs don't impact Your feelings about President Biden or President Trump?
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me
doctrine.
like you have your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, "There's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I read that correctly? Do you really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court, is guided by white male supremacy?
I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
and other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
curb your
seriously, sir.
enthusiasm? Here's my saying, curb my nausea.
I
Thank you.
believe that you
The
should take
time
the First
has
Amendment
expired. Thank
seriously.
you. Senator Durbin.
Senator John Kennedy walked into that hearing ready to do what he does best, cut straight to the political spin, and in just 5 minutes, he exposed one of the most radical testimonies ever brought before Congress. Kennedy began by calmly questioning Professor Franks, a Democratic witness whose legal writings and tweets read like they were drafted in the heat of a political meltdown. He asked her whether she truly believed it was a myth that the Biden administration coerced private speech, while insisting the Trump administration is guilty of that exact thing. She said yes, without hesitation. Then Kennedy asked a question everyone watching was already thinking. Are her political beliefs clouding her judgment? She said no. But Kennedy wasn't buying it, and neither was anyone who's seen what she's written, because Kennedy came armed with her own words. He read aloud from her 2023 Law Review article, where she claimed the Supreme Court had embraced the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy. She confirmed it. Then he read another passage in which he accused the court of promoting a culture allowing white men to terrorize and kill. Again, she confirmed it, and he didn't stop there. Kennedy then highlighted her jaw-dropping claim that the current Supreme Court has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact. She admitted that sounded like her too, but what really set the room on fire were her social media posts. Kennedy read her November 2024 tweet declaring that the majority of Americans hate women. Instead of explaining, she deflected. Then he read a 2022 tweet accusing conservative Supreme Court being driven by white male supremacy. And this was the moment Kennedy dropped the hammer. He asked whether she genuinely expects Congress, or the American people, to take her seriously as an unbiased witness when she publicly claims the court is guided by white male supremacy. He made it clear he wasn't impressed, ended with a line only Kennedy could deliver, "Curb my nausea." The hearing ended, but the message was unmistakable. Kennedy shut down the idea that radical rhetoric passes for legal reasoning. And when someone tries to turn the Supreme Court into a partisan punching bag, he's not going to let it slide. If you're tired of activists masquerading as experts, you weren't alone in that hearing.